Right then, here we go. First ever European draw of the save. Probably the least exciting we could have. Europa Conference League knockout playoff round. But let's see who we've got in the last 16. Well, really the last 32. But of course, there's just 16 teams in this. Waiting for our draw. Honestly, at this stage, I really don't mind. I'd fancy us against anyone right now. But we're still waiting. We're still waiting. We're still waiting. We're going to be the last team out of the hat, aren't we? We are indeed. It's Copenhagen. Copenhagen. So it could have been seeding in the end because we were the top of the playoff places and Copenhagen were bottom. So it could have been seeding in the end. But it's the Danish side, Copenhagen, who, to be fair, are probably one of the toughest sides we could take on. Copenhagen in the knockout playoff round. That's probably one of the toughest teams we could have faced there. Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager save. This is episode number 27. Instead of returning with 2 games at Vitality, as face Crystal Palace at home in the Premier League and Copenhagen in the second leg of our Europa Conference League second leg playoff round tie as well. That was a mouthful. Before we get to the games, though, show more for me getting on off camera. And also, just very briefly, we did arrange a sale of David Brooks. In the end, he has now gone to Espanyol for £4 million. We'll always love David Brooks. We'll always love Brooksy boy, but just wasn't getting the game time here. Out of contract come the end of the season, so the cash in and get 4 mil before we lose him for free seemed like a financially sensible thing to do. And we sold one of our youngsters as well. Once again, there's a 50% sell-on clause on this guy. I have to say, this is one of my tips for you guys. I don't really give tips on Football Manager because you know I'm not very good at the game, but it is a small tip. If you are going to sell one of your young players, one thing you can do is arrange a 50% clause with the majority of them. And 9 times out of 10, a club will accept it. So if you see a club's put a bid in for one of your young players, so you're not massively sure about how good they'll be in the future, my recommendation is add the clause in, because 9 times out of 10, they'll just accept it. Add the clause in, make it non-negotiable. 9 times out of 10, they'll accept it. So yeah, 50% clause there as well. And you might have seen as well, we arranged two transfers to come in the summer. Marescu, who I agreed was it last season or at the start of the summer window? It might start of the summer window. Looks really good. And also Carlos Gomez, an Argentine fullback as well. Just snapping up these youngsters. None of them are certified wonder kids, but there's something, do you know what I mean? They're not something to get too excited about, but you just never know. Anyway, right, run off camera, as you can see, 7 games. The run's been pretty mixed from Bournemouth in what has been a really mixed and long season as well. Beginning with a 4-1 loss away at Goodison against Everton back in the Premier League on the back of the high of our Carabao Cup semi-final second leg victory over Aston Villa, and we got battered. You know it's going to be a long night when you concede an own goal in the first minute. Yeah, Metham set Everton on the way. He had a shocker in this game as well. He was at fault for at least 2 of the goals as well. While Solanke bagged the consolation in the end, we got a bad 4-1. Following that, 2-0 win in the replay of our FA Cup third round against Blackburn Rovers. Danny Ings set us on the way, and then Jaden Anthony scored the dagger, if you will, in stoppage time to put us through to the 4th round. After that, a 4-2 loss at home to Aston Villa. Josh Sargent, the American, and Jacob Ramsey bagging braces in this game in a 4-2 loss. After that, 2-2 draw away at West Ham. Frustrating draw, though. We should have won it. We were 2-0 up. Solanke bagged a brace in this game. Won in the first 10 minutes, and then 4 minutes after the restart. But in the second half, oh man, we conceded 2 goals in 3 minutes to throw away a 2-0 lead and ended up drawing at 2-2. Such a disappointing throwaway. But we did respond in the following game with a massive scalp. 1-0 victory at home to Chelsea. You know, honestly, not much going on in the game. And then Raheem Sterling played an amazing through ball, sadly for the wrong team. Yep, Dominic Solanke latched onto a poorly considered back pass from Sterling inside our half, let alone his own. Solanke ran onto it, rounded Mendy, caught in no man's land and scored the only goal of the game. And after that, 1-1 draw against Reading in the FA Cup third round. Fell behind right before the break. Tommy Doyle, released by Man City, did score his first goal for the club off the bench from the spot as we salvaged another replay. This is a slog of a season and another replay as well. But our final game off camera was a 3-0 victory away in Denmark in the first leg of our Europa Conference League playoff round. Beat Copenhagen 3-0. Scott McTominay scored a contender for goal this season, 18 minutes in. Beautiful goal from the English-born Scotsman, making it 1-0. Solanke made it 2, 3 minutes afterwards. Batterina, lovely run and through ball to Dom. And then Jaden Anthony wrapped it up with 16 minutes to go. So we defend a 3-0 lead heading into the playoff round second leg today. So heading into the game, before we get there, Premier League, as you can see, we've got Crystal Palace today. Right now, they're in the bottom 3 in 19th place. We've got 34 points on the board, 12th place right now. You might think, not been a great season for you so far, but to be fair, we've still got a game in hand or 2 or 3 on the teams around us. And that's the key. Whilst we've been around here for most of the season, it's mainly because we keep on having games in hand. So teams have got too many games in hand on us. So that's why, we're level on points with these teams here. But we get just 1 point from these 2 games in hand, and we'll jump into the top 10. So I'm not too concerned, even though this season we spent most of our time in these positions. It's one thing that I hope FM look into in the future. More intelligence from the board and the fans when they review your performance in competitions. Because again, right now you'll see it says 45%, which is just under what the board would hope for us this year, which again is to be a top 10 team. Well, we're only outside the top 10 on goal difference, and we've got 2 games in hand on the teams around us, and we're only 4 points away from a European place. So that, to me, I don't know. I think that's a little bit harsh in my opinion. But anyway, heading into the first game of today's episode, will indeed be Crystal Palace and win this. And again, we will jump into the top 10. So fingers crossed we can pull out the bag and extend our unbeaten run to 5 in all competitions. And this will be our team into the game. No one's injured. No one is injured. It won't last long, but this is our team. By the way, I've changed a couple of instructions in our tactics as well. Okay, I must have done that during the game. We're playing a little bit narrower than usual, and we're also playing at a higher tempo as well. That's it. I'm not the greatest tactician in the world, but those are the only 2 changes I've made in the run-off camera. So into the game, this will be our team. Georgie's in goal. Back four is Kelly, Zabani, Garza, and Aaron's in the midfield trio, and Scott, McTominay, Batterina, Traore, and Romero on the wings. And up top, Dominic Solanke, who's asked for a new contract. I promised him I'd give him one. Unfortunately, we've had 2 contract chats with the agent, and he's walked out of both negotiations. His deal is up in just under a year and a half. There is slight concern, but Dom, tell your agent to lower his demands. You are not getting what he's been asking for, 115 grand a week. Absolutely not. On the bench, Travers, Pereira, Hernandez, Blanco, Radalovic, Cook, Tavernier, Anthony, and Danny Ings as well. First 2 games, Crystal Palace win this, and we are back in the top 10. Come on, you cherries. It's crazy to think that the Premier League has become our 3rd priority at the moment this season. Like, when was the last time I had the league as my 3rd priority? I mean, the league is normally always my top, but because we've got a Carabao Cup final to come, that's of course our number 1 now. And the Europa Conference League as well, I think we've got a good chance there. Well, obviously we're going through to the last 16. Touch wood, unless we have a collapse in the second leg against Copenhagen. We've got a chance to go all the way there. So it's crazy to think that right now the Premier League, I'm not that fussed. We're not going to go down. Like, we're not going to go down. We're well away from the bottom 3, and we only really need like 1 or 2 more wins in the final 15 games, I think it is, to stay up. So we're not going to go down as Romero hits the crossbar. But I don't really mind if we don't make Europe either, because I think we can do it by either A, winning the Carabao Cup, or B, winning the Europa Conference League. Yeah, that's the one thing that you have to remember as well. Like, the winners of the Carabao Cup guarantee a Europa Conference League place. So if we do beat Spurs, it's a double whammy. We don't just win our first ever major honour in Bournemouth history, but we also qualify for the Europa Conference League again, as Elise is through and fluffs his lines a little bit. But also the Conference League, if you win that, you guarantee a place in the Europa League next year. So I think we've got just as much chance of qualifying for Europe by winning one of those 2 competitions as we do finishing in the top 7. So for now, with us being in a cup final and being in the knockout stage of the Europa Conference League, I'm focusing more on those 2 competitions. Having said that, we don't want a capitulation towards the end of the season and be dragged into a relegation scrap. That's the last thing we want. McTominay, centre circle, finds Solanke, now Hamid Traore, lovely ball to Luca Romero, crosses Solanke! Gets his 27th of the year, and he's saying to the fans, it's not me that doesn't want to stay, it's the gaffer not giving me what I deserve. Is he worth 115 grand a week? With inflation, quite possibly, but it's the principle of the matter. When you do an RTG, you always remember the first player you put on 100 grand a week. Is Solanke deserving of that? I'm not entirely sure. He's given us the lead. It's 1-0 Bournemouth at the moment. The fans are saying, give him what he wants. Free kick, Bournemouth, 3 minutes after the restart. Headed away But it should be won back by Romero and is. And now David Garza back to Alex Scott. Romero's been so good for me this year. Really solid. And here he is down the right again. Can he cross the middle again? He can, surely. He does, but picks out no one. But Kelly wins it back down the left-hand side. Yeah, Romero's had a solid season for me this year on our right-hand side. No grace period needed for him, as he's had a really good first year in the Premier League. Baturina picks it up. Dribbles around his man Doucouré. Taken down, penalty. Baturina, so good. I would say for me, Martin Baturina is worth 100 grand a week. Even though Solanke is now probably going to get his 28th goal of the season from the spot here. Dominic converts. Do you know, he's only missed one penalty in the save, as far as I can remember. And that was the very first penalty he took against Southampton back in Season 1. I'm pretty sure he scored every single penalty since then. Dominic Solanke wants the extension, wants the big contract, but, oh man, 99 grand a week. Yes, 150 grand a week. I just can't do it. Well, for sure, there's no way we'll be going down if we win this game. Palace in the bottom three right now. Baturina, 25 yards from goal. Oh, hits the top of the crossbar and goes behind for a goal kick. Yeah, look at the league table right now. Again, this will take us back into the top 10, up to 9th, and only behind Wolves by a point, and we'll have the game in hand as well. So, I don't know what that's about. 45% satisfaction? Come on, lads. Seriously, we're supposed to be a top 10 team at best. At best. But, as things stand, we are going to be right now. But yeah, we're 16 points clear of Everton in 18th place. There's no way we're going down from here. So really, it just becomes about making sure we give a good account of ourselves in that cup final against Spurs, even though we are big underdogs. And of course, try and go all the way in Europe as well. Palace looking for a late fight back. Oh, what a save, Georgie. And that is going to do it. Bournemouth get the win by 2-0. Didn't play especially well, but did what we needed to and get ourselves an easy 3 points in the end. Well, not really an easy 3 points, but even so, we'll take it. We'll take it. It was quite an even game, to be fair. Could have gone either way, but we'll have that. So again, top 10, back in the top 10. Absolutely no chance we go down from this position, so we can forget all about being in a relegation scrap from now on. I said we only really need the 1 or 2 wins in what is now 13 games to go. There's no way we're going down. The question is now, can we possibly get 7th again? I'm not even thinking about the top 6. We are not good enough to battle with the traditional top 6 yet. But 7th, that to us is like our top of the table, if that makes sense. Here is Luca Romero, by the way, developing really, really nicely indeed. I don't know if he'll hit the heights that he sometimes can hit in Football Manager because A, we don't have the best coaching staff in the game, and B, we don't have the best training facilities in the game, but he is developing quite nicely here, and I do think he'll get quite good. I don't think he'll get as good as he can. Sometimes he can become one of the best wingers in the world. I don't think he'll get to that level, but 5 goals in 20 and 4 assists as well. He's averaging just under 1 in 2 direct contributions to a goal per game he plays for us, so he's doing pretty well out there. The question is, how long can we keep him for? Because he's got that £38.5 million minimum fee release clause clubs in the Champions League. If not in the summer, then maybe the next one I can see like a Manchester City or a Chelsea bringing him in for their squad, if not their first team. But for now, he's hit the ground running, and it's good to see it. Right, second and final game, and unless we have an absolute capitulation, we should be making it through to the last 16 of the Europa Conference League as we defend a 3-0 lead here against Copenhagen. Also avoid defeat as well. That'll be 6 in a row without defeat. He'll be our best run of form since that good stretch back in October/November. So heading into the game, this will be our team. Much change because we've got Chelsea on the weekend. Of course, a far bigger game there away at Stamford Bridge as we continue to push for a European place. So this will be our team. 4-3-3 as per, but our lineup has changed. George is in goal. Back four is now Kelly, Metham, Zavani and Nandez. Cook four has been Radulovic through the middle. Anthony on the left, Tavernier on the right and Ings up top. Bit of a weakened side, but I trust the boys here. On the bench, Travers, Garza, Milanovic, Doyle, Blanco, Sharon, who's a youngster out of the academy. I'll show you him right now. There we go. Where have I gone here? Sharon, Scott, Moyo, Traore, Romero, Simic, and Solanke as well. Baturina getting a night off, McTominay night off, Aaron's night off. I feel confident in my backup brigade to get the job done here. Second and final game, Copenhagen. Let's keep the unbeaten streak going and make through to the last 16. Come on, you cherries. So first highlight falling early, and almost resulted in a goal as well. Zabani heads Tavs free kick onto the woodwork, and Forsby also hits the woodwork off the crossbar. Again, Copenhagen give it away, and in the end, the ball deflects behind for a goal kick. Fast start there. These are the games where like these players are playing for places, you know. Radulovic, for example, Zabani, want more game time. They perform in these games, they'll get it. 2 minutes to go before the break. Still tied at 0-0, but that's fine with me. Totally fine with me. I'll take a goalless draw in this game here. But this will do it. There it is. It's over. Radalovic has got another assist. This guy, he might not have that many in the Premier League, but in Europe, in the Cups, he's got tons of them. So, starters off. Youngsters on. And let's see if any of them can get involved. Oh, Radalovic again. Oh, he's too good. This is one to watch, man. You know, I know I said that it's hard to find those, like, certified wonder kids. And Radalovic isn't described as one, but when we did sign him in the summer, I said keep your eyes on him. His vision and creativity reminds me a bit of Batterina, not going to lie. Lovely ball through, second assist of the game. Tav with a finish. He's playing some brilliant through balls out there. Take a look at him right now. He's still waiting to get his first cap for Serbia, but again, 15 vision, 15 passing, 16 first touch, 16 decisions as well. Really, really solid. It's just such a shame, like, we are so stacked in midfield. You know, you think Batterina, Scott, Traore, to be fair, plays on the wing, but now Radalovic as well. Blanco should get more minutes too. But it's just so hard to get everyone game time in this team, because there's just so many players that are stacked through the middle of the park. Forsby! Second of the season for the mental man. How we didn't win our first 2 games in this competition, I don't know. But we've put it right since then and won every single one since our slow start. 3-0 in both legs. We are comfortably through to the last 16 of the Europa Conference League. And I think the draw is actually tomorrow as well. So before we end the episode off, is it tomorrow? Pretty sure it is. I don't say that, but I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. So yeah, but we'll do it anyway. We'll do it before we end the episode off here. Traore prefers Radalovic to Camavinga. Well, listen, it's great to gas your young players up, but those are Kolo Touré's words, not mine. I mean, if Camavinga wants to come here, I'll swim for Radalovic, to be fair. Right, I think the draw is today. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, Solanke, I want to give you a contract, I do, but I can't. Oh, God. Please, Dom. No, come on, Dom, please. No, I can't. Oh, fuck. We can't lose, Dom. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh my, right. This is the biggest problem with the save so far. What we do with Dominic Solanke. We've got a fucking Carabao Cup final in 2 weeks' time, and now I'm more worried about this. Here we go. Last 16 Europa Conference League. So let's see who we've got then in the last 16 as we try and get ourselves further in this competition as well as making the final of the Carabao Cup. We are going to be drawn against, at home first, oh, that's a tough one. SC Freiburg, the Bundesliga side. They were in the Europa League and got knocked out and therefore going to the Europa Cup. No, they weren't. I thought they were in the Europa League. Well, I was confusing them with someone else. But anyway, it is Freiburg in the Europa Conference League last 16. Tough one, that. Tough one. Mid-table in the Bundesliga right now. They've got some pretty solid players, including Matthias Ginter at the back. Decent team. Could go either way, that one. Looking forward to it. Right, guys, that will end today's episode of the Football Manager Saves. So big fan of watching. Enjoy it. Let's hope you all have a fantastic day. That was English. And we'll return in the next episode with, I mean, it's got to be, hasn't it? It's got to be the Carabao Cup final against Spurs. And should we squeeze in the first leg at that last 16 tie as well? I'll try. But definitely the Carabao Cup final and our first cup final of the save. Well, hopefully by then, fingers crossed, I'll be able to talk Solanke around. Have a great day, guys. Much love. And I'll see you for our first cup final with Bournemouth. We head to Wembley in the Carabao Cup final against Spurs very soon.